How's it going? This is Royal with Talk Show Central RTV Style, and today is Sunday, one day before Valentine's Day. It's going to be a great show. And tonight we have easygoing politics, and we're bringing the future judge of 484. Judge Adela, she is here. She is going to talk to you about why you need to vote for her. So, wow, here she is. How's it going? How you doing today?
I'm very excited and I'm doing very well. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me in your program.
Oh, no problem, man. You are awesome. We love you, and we want to make sure that you get all the votes you can. We want to convert those no votes to yes votes, and we want to convert those pa qué voto si nada cambia into man, I need to go out there and vote. And hopefully they're registered because obviously if they're not registered, pues no pueden votar, ¿verdad? But hopefully they are, and then that's the voter we're after, right? That's the
Yes,
voter we're after. El
yes,
que no vota, el que dice pues por qué, pa qué. And your position is very important because you
yes,
deal with the youth.
yes,
And the youth has,
yes,
forever, forever and ever and ever and ever, and in the future and ever and ever, the youth is always going to have issues, because no one
correct.
understands them. They're in a different level than us adults.
Yes,
We were kids, and nah, pues you don't understand us, but you don't understand me, mami. Abuelita, no me
right,
comprendes. You get all that and all that, and hopefully
mhm,
they have parents that can help them out. But there's some
right,
kids out there that fall into
right,
the system que they have
yes,
nobody, tan solitos, ¿verdad? So tell
que
us a
no
little bit
tienen a
about that,
nadie.
Adela.
There are many children that are in trouble because either they have mental issues, they have emotional issues, they have psychological issues, but some of them are just economically disadvantaged.
Right.
I have heard stories that some of them prefer to be in the juvenile system just so that they can have some structure in their lives, so that
Wow.
they can have 3 meals a day, so that they can have a warm place to sleep and a peaceful place to sleep. That's tough. And then there
Amazing.
are others that have substance abuse
Yes.
issues, and and then there's others that have fallen to peer pressure and to either because of problems at home or many other issues that trouble the youth. There's many reasons why
Wow.
they fall prey to other people that induce them or that manipulate them, and they uh, fall into the justice system. And it's very sad. And what I want to do is help as many as I can
Right.
to reform them and to help them not have a criminal record, because that's
Mm,
very important, so
yes.
that they can have a future. There is there's many situations in which they believe that they don't have a criminal record and they shouldn't,
Right.
but as we all know, nothing is really confidential, and it does follow them. And I want to help them have a fresh start if possible.
Wow. That is very good because yes, a lot of kids do fall through the cracks. Here, Gabi Gavito, saludes a Adela, mucha suerte, mi mami, y yo te deseo lo mejor de lo mejor.
Muchas gracias.
Gabi, who Gabi, obviously, so
Yes, she
tell
came
us a
to
little bit
one of
about Gabi.
she came to my meet and greet that I had at Arnie's not too long ago,
Ahí por los
at,
Fresnos, right?
ahí en Los Fresnos.
Sí.
And my God, she was so supportive and wonderful. That's what I have to say.
Wow.
Anyway, that's
Well, Gaby, qué bueno que fuiste y bueno, te comiste unas hamburguesas, unos wings. That's a great place. I haven't been. I've always wanted to, but it's like outside of Brazil, but in the direction where I don't know. I don't go too much to Los Fresnos, even though I have great friends in Los Fresnos. So I don't go much to that way. But I know exactly where it sits on the left as you drive away from Brownsville, or on the right when you're coming back. And so I almost had dinner one time there, and it's like, but no se me hizo. But yeah, but you meet a lot of interesting people like Gabi. I mean, I'm sure you meet people that are just thankful that you're running, because they love and appreciate what you want to do with these kids and with the system. And so, yeah, sometimes the internet goes in and off, guys. So we're sorry. I think Adela has frozen a little bit. I can see myself. Oh, she stepped out, but she's gonna come right back. Uh, it happens. It happens. This is Talk Show Central RTV style. This is Royal, and of course, Uh, hey, we're ready. We always have Plan B scheduled. She'll come right back. Let me send her a message, and come back. Try resetting your system. Sometimes that's what it takes, especially right now that they're using a lot of the internet with the weather and the whole bit. It happens. But let me share some pictures with you guys. Let me take this banner off, and that way the screen will be open. And let me put any comments that want to come in, and let me share. We can all hold on. Let me do this one. Hold on. Here we go. And oops, wrong one. Oh no, no, yeah. Let me put it over here. Rookie moves, and vámonos. Let's share. And this is one of her posters. Of course, we added here the talk show. We called this a meet and greet with Adela. Meet and greet with Adela, because you get to meet her, and you get to greet her. And how do you greet her? You greet her with making comments, and we want to make sure you guys bring in your comments. If you have any questions, man, give us some questions. Samuel, how's it going? Good evening, Ray. Oh man, there she is. I think I
I
got
am
her.
so sorry. I'm
No,
so
it
sorry.
happens, Adela. It
I,
happens.
a glitch in the computer, but I got back in through
You're
another
right,
way.
kid. And I'm just showing them a couple of pictures in there, and just kind of here. This is I think you're wearing kind of like a judge's robe, right? Is that what you're wearing right there? A judge's robe?
No, it's just a black suit with
Oh, it looks like it'd be cool. That'd be a judge's rope, It's like, I
but
don't
it
know,
isn't.
but it isn't, right? But it's cool. Anyway, Adela, ¿qué me cuentas? ¿Qué más me cuentas, Adela? Tell me, what are the biggest issues with becoming a judge, or once you become a judge, what should be some of the hardest issues to deal with? I mean, well, first of all, they created this new judgeship, right? It's a
Yes.
new thing. I mean, why did they create it?
Well, I guess this before it is still being handled by Judge Migdalia Lopez. She's
Uh
a
huh.
retired district judge. And not too long ago, it was being handled by two retired judges, Judge Migdalia Lopez and Judge Menton Murray.
Mm-hmm.
Judge Menton Murray retired, and they had the assistance of a part time referee.
Wow.
When Judge Migdalia Lopez and Menton Murray were together handling all the minors that ended up in the juvenile justice system,
Mm-hmm.
they had a part-time referee that worked 1 day a week. And right now, since Menton Murray retired, it's she the part-time referee works 2 days a week.
Wow.
But the referee can only handle uncontested hearings.
Mm-hmm.
uh, the part-time referee cannot handle jury trials, cannot handle contested hearings, cannot handle what is called determinate sentences
Wow.
of um, of juvenile delinquents that have been found to have committed a juvenile delinquent act. And those determinate sentences could go up to 40 years in
Oh my God.
see, it's serious stuff. But um, I'm the only candidate that's handled those types of
Those
cases,
type, the heavy duty types,
the
¿verdad?
heavy duty type.
You know,
The
well, let me ask you this, because I've heard that you need to have experience in juvenile, and I can understand you're going into juvenile system and you need to understand how that works. But law is law. I figured that law
right,
that's heavy duty would handle. And I don't want to belittle the juvenile system, but
no,
it's like a sub of the heavy duty ones, because some of these kids, I mean, there's a chavito out there that's 16 or 17 and gets a
yes,
gun and shoots a couple of people. I mean,
yes,
that's not heavy duty. No le vas a decir, ay, qué bonito niñito, that kind
no,
of deal.
no, no,
That's heavy duty. But then there's other kids that, they don't know any better, and maybe they,
right,
they
right.
buy some pot, or
Or
they get caught
the
with some
vape
pot,
pen,
or
sí, sí, sí,
sexual abuse or something like
sí,
that. So algo que
yes.
se puede componer, ¿verdad? Pero ya murder, pues ya, I'm sorry, it's gone overboard. You can't, or they have bad attitudes también, ¿verdad? This is just an
Yes,
adjustment of attitude, right?
cómo no, cómo
Sí,
no. Mira, I've handled everything. I've handled the very mild, very not serious cases of
right,
little kids that did not know what they were doing,
right.
and I have defended them. And I've also handled the very serious cases where a minor has been certified as an adult because
Wow.
he committed a murder, a capital murder case.
Yeah, something
So
hideous.
I've handled the whole spectrum of ranges of sentences and ranges of punishment regarding juvenile justice. One of the things that I have seen is, for example, there's a particular case that I am that I know about,
Right,
and
right.
it's a vape pen case, and it's a little girl that is 16 years old that has an is a good student, is a good person,
Mm-hmm.
but got involved with vape pens at school, and because a vape pen is illegal, that's a state jail felony. But because it was
Wow,
on school grounds, it rises up to the level of a third degree felony. So
wow.
now you have a 16-year-old all the way to a third degree felony. It's those types of cases that I find problematic
Right, right.
because you're giving a minor a criminal record on her
Mm-hmm.
record that shouldn't be. That's not what the law was meant to do.
Yeah, it's kind of like they went overboard a little bit, but
See,
como que they pushed them
yes,
out of plays and they got caught out of plays and that kind of deal. But
yes,
yet they're still responsible. I mean, kids especially,
right,
but there's even adults that have gone through the system where they
right.
make a simple mistake, but they're not treated like it's a simple mistake, because I mean they shouldn't be. It's something that's serious. But those that make mistakes like that, I mean, they can come back to the good side and become productive citizens, in the future. But if we can
I
catch that early, then
yes.
those little kids that could potentially be potential gang leaders could be potential productive citizens and private leaders in
Yes.
society. You know.
And I do believe in those types of cases. I do not believe that incarcerating them, because that's what it is. I do not believe that um, giving them a record like that is productive. I believe in second, third, fourth, fifth,
Yeah.
sixth chances, as many chances as a person needs to lead a productive life.
Right.
But at the same time, I do believe in accountability,
You're right.
and I do believe that in the priority is the safety and the
Yeah.
welfare of Cameron County.
Yeah.
I
In other words,
have,
show me a little bit and then I'll help you. Show me a little bit and I'll help you because some of them, say, no,
claro,
pues me va a dar chance. Hey, okay, ya me
no,
voy and let me go rip off another 7-Eleven or let me go beat up on this person or whatever. Oh, I'm going to come back with Judge Adela and she's going to give me a third chance. And that's not what you're talking about.
no, no, no. I'm talking about if I see effort, if
Yeah,
I see struggling with, but I see the good faith and I see that somebody is trying, they should be rewarded for
yes.
that type of behavior.
Right,
They
right.
should,
I agree.
and this is a formula that I've always done. As I've been a prosecutor for a long
Right.
time, but I was also a criminal defense lawyer, and I'm also a professor at UTRGV where I teach
There you go.
constitutional rights.
Right.
And I'm big on the Fourth Amendment, the Fifth Amendment, and the Sixth Amendment. But I also, trust me, I'm very fond of law enforcement. I
Right.
know what they go through, and I feel for them. And we have wonderful.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't understand that we have very good police officers here in Cameron County.
Yeah. And we
They're
thank you, law enforcement
they're
officers,
good.
and we
They're
throw in there the border patrol because
claro,
they bring in cases in there, right? This there.
and
Uh,
we
yeah. Go
have.
ahead.
So what I want to do is I want to work with BISD
Yes.
and with the school districts to see how we can have a connection with the with the judge of
Mm-hmm.
the juvenile court
Right.
and the schools to see how we can connect. I got that idea from a long time ago working with Judge Filemon Vela.
Wow.
when
Yeah.
I when I worked with Judge Filemon Vela, I was an assistant United States attorney, and what he would do, he was an awesome person. He
Right.
was a beautiful soul inside and out. Because what he didn't do it because of politics. Because he was a federal judge.
Right. Right.
He's appointed by for life, so he did it out of his heart.
Right. Right.
He would get prisoners in their attire, in their prison attire, in chains, and he would give them a reduction in their sentence if they agreed to go to the high schools and give speeches to the high school students.
Right.
And
Right.
it was so moving. And I would accompany them. He would invite some of the AUSAs, and I was invited on several occasions
Right.
to give speeches to the high schools, telling them the truth,
Right. Right.
telling them and it was very powerful testimony the from actual people, from actual
Yeah.
young people, telling other young people, please don't get involved in drug trafficking. Don't get involved in illegal activities because look what's going to happen to you. You're going to end up
Yeah.
like me.
Right. Right.
There was another thing that he did, and that is he would get little kids, well, not little kids, but high school kids, and give them a tour
Mm-hmm.
of the jail
Yeah.
so
That's
that
scary.
they could see what it's like, and it works. And
Yeah.
I haven't seen anybody try that anymore,
Right.
and I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna
Yeah.
follow his example
Yeah.
of being one of the things that the messages that Judge Filemon Vela
Great.
would do was fly like an eagle. And
Wow.
yes, he
Let me share a comment here. Dice Sam Martinez, what is the most common charge in juvenile system in the area? He also asked another question. Why don't they just legalize personnel used in the area? Why don't they just all right? And then he finally says here, not to sound judgmental, but a 16-year-old smoking sounds like she or he might have bigger issues besides just smoking.
well, let me that's to I guess the most common is the vape pen problem.
All right.
But it's not the most serious problem because what
Right.
I've seen is the vape pen problem is a problem. It's becoming a
It's a new
serious
thing.
problem that needs to be addressed. But let me tell you, there's also sexual assault. I
Yes.
have seen a lot of situations, and that is more crucial.
And
The
let me ask you this, Adela: is sexual advances, sexual assault more common now than when you and I were kids?
I don't think so. I think that
Wow.
it is just more open now. It
Oh,
is
I
more
see.
disclosed now, because before it was more secretive, and I think now just we know about it more because
I see.
we're into it more, and little kids are being taught at school to speak up,
Right,
and
right.
that's but what I've seen is a lot of issues of uh, interfamily problems, like el primo con la primita,
Uh huh.
or the little brother with the other little brother, things of that nature. And when that happens, it's um, it's heartbreaking, because I sometimes wonder if those minors, those children, the ones that the perpetrators
Right,
or
right.
the alleged perpetrators, was it really something that they? I sometimes wonder if it was just curiosity
Yeah,
that
yeah.
led
Of
them
course.
to commit these acts that are wrong, and
Right.
that need to be corrected.
Well,
And
I
I'm
think a lot
I,
has to do with self-esteem. I mean, their self-esteem, the way they're loved. I mean, I don't
let,
know. It could
let
be.
me just tell you
Yeah.
a one success story
Right.
that I did, that
There
I'm
you go.
very proud of. Many years ago, didn't happen recently,
Hmm.
but I handled a case as a defense attorney
Wow.
of a minor that was accused of something like that, of
Hmm.
sexual assault. And he ended up going to, I didn't represent him for that, but he was punished. He ended up going to juvie jail. That's what the Texas Youth Commission,
Uh huh.
because of that. But he
Right,
was
right,
very young. He was 13 at the time.
right.
He later changed his life. He went to school. He became a registered nurse,
Wow.
and he was so honest that in his application to be a licensed an LVN, he disclosed what had happened when he was 13, because the questionnaire, the way that it is written, sort of made it sound like he had to. So he
Right,
did.
right.
He was given his license, and he was very successful. And when he tried to renew it,
No se
somehow,
la dio.
some way, they discovered that they had overlooked his previous application, where he had disclosed, he was
Right,
very honest and disclosed something that had happened when he was very young.
right, right.
And so then the board attempted to yank his license
Wow.
to do his profession, and that's where I came in, and I defended him, and I did a lot of research,
Right.
and I defended him to the point that he was able to get his license back.
Wow.
And this happened a long time ago, and he lived a very successful life.
Right.
And what happens is that, um, in my in my argument, is that those forms shouldn't ask anything about what happened as a child, because that's
Mm.
that's not fair, because that when you're a child, you should not be held accountable, as because you're a child.
Right, right.
and
Well, yeah,
and
you're ignorant. Maybe stupid, maybe naive, maybe
claro,
no
claro,
sabes mejor. Estás bien
right.
tapado. Somebody didn't guide you in the right direction, or como dices tú, just curiosity. There's curiosity in the
and
mind,
let
and
and
that
nobody
was the
no
most.
and nobody's perfect Nobody,
Right.
only God does not
Yeah,
make
yeah.
any
We're all
mistakes.
sinners. Yeah, yeah, you're
And
right.
only God doesn't make any mistakes, and even adults make mistakes.
Oh, yeah.
So in that situation, I wrote an appeal. I defended it. Well, it was my husband and I. My husband, both of us worked on it, and it took a lot of effort. Let me tell you, it was we struggled a lot with it.
Mm-hmm.
Pero a lo que voy, those records that these minors have, it's so easy to give them probation and stuff. It does go on their record. And I know that for a fact because, like
Wow.
I said, that case that I handled, and frankly, I saved the life of my husband and I, Noe
Yeah, yeah,
Garza. Uh, we said, I'm very proud of the fact
yeah.
that that's one life that I know for a fact was uh, was a success story. And I have other success stories involving uh, very serious cases. There's, I can't go into too much into detail, but
Right, right.
uh, in some of the cases that I've handled, for example, a 14-year-old participated in a murder case, in a
Wow.
horrible, horrible, horrible murder case, together with other older minors and adults.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens is they are intimidated. The 14-year-old was intimidated and afraid, and he participated in the torture and murder of a human being
Wow.
because he was afraid of what would happen to him if he didn't participate.
Right, right, right.
But he did do something good, and this person was the reason why the case was solved. If it weren't for him,
Mm-hmm.
the, the murder would have not been solved.
Mm.
And so he received what is called a determinate sentence. And that is that for 40 years, because it was a capital murder case.
Right.
And that means that up until the age of 19, he'll serve the sentence in the juvenile system. And then after the age of 19, he will be on parole for the remainder of the sentence. But
Wow.
up until now, he has been a good citizen. He hasn't done anything. And it's been some years now. And I hope that that case, he will continue being a good citizen. And
Mm-hmm.
I spoke to him for hours and hours. And in
Right.
my opinion, it was, there's a lot of peer pressure to join gangs,
Yes, yes.
to join gangs.
Yeah.
And that is a problem, that is a tremendous problem, mostly because these young people that join these gangs is because they want to belong. They want to belong
Yeah.
to a family. They don't
Something.
have
Yeah.
a family,
Right, right.
and they don't have the family support, and they
Mm-hmm.
find the family support in gangs.
Yeah.
But they are a problem. Gangs are a problem.
Wow.
I have another case of an elderly lady. I don't know what happened or what did she do to anger this very violent gang in Cameron County. I'm not
Mm.
talking about Houston, or this is
Wow.
Cameron County, and they burned her house 3 times.
Oh my God.
See, and she doesn't want to press charges because she's terrified of
She's
what
afraid.
will see. Yes.
Wow. Man, yo
Uh,
me acuerdo, Adela, I remember when we were little, man, we used to hang out in the corner, at the corner. And I mean, I was never part of a gang or anything, and my friends were not part of the gang, but we knew some other kids that were part of the gang, and you could,
see,
you knew. We used to call them pachucos back in the day. But there was a respect factor. There could be a pachuco, was doing his glue or
yes,
marijuana or whatever, or tomándose una cerveza, whatever, y pasaba una señora, un señor, y le decía, buenos días, señora. Or they would stop, they would hide the cigarette,
see,
and they would, there was a little bit of respect, but
yes.
nowadays there's not that respect factor,
No,
and
no,
it's like, I don't know. Now,
correct.
let me ask you this. you mentioned gangs, and I know we've always talked gangs, but I know when we were little, I mean, there was La Parra, La 421, La 14, La Sophomores, and La Via Verde, and there was all these gangs, there was around, and it sounded cool, but really wasn't. But there was these gangs. Do those gangs still exist? I mean, in Brownsville, are there still gangs in Brownsville?
There are, yes, there are. Of
Oh
course,
my
there
God.
are, and
And
there's
you don't hear about it, or at least maybe
no,
I'm
you don't hear
ignorant to
about
it.
it, but let's see. There's a lot of wannabe gangs.
Órale.
I've had I had a murder case where a young person got killed unnecessarily, and if you really see everybody, they're all, in my opinion, they were all good kids, deep,
Right.
good people, but they ended up killing this person, and that problem had originated in middle school
Oh
during
my God.
what's the name of that game, the ball, the flag ball, or I can
Yeah,
forget.
yeah. Flag football.
Anyway, in one of those games, some problem originated and it
Right.
followed it through, it escalated all the way to high school. And then they see this young person at a party and they
Peace
decide
off.
to jump him. And then when they jump him, things get out of hand and he ends up getting killed.
Wow,
Hombre.
pobrecito.
And that needs to be addressed. All of that needs to be addressed with education,
Right.
with
Well, let me
education,
let
with
me ask
going
you
to the
this.
schools and
Yeah.
saying, don't get into gangs,
Yes.
don't get into gangs.
Wait,
Don't,
is there a school court? Does BISD have a school court?
I don't
I
think
thought they
so.
did at some point.
A school court. I haven't heard of a school court. I'm sorry.
Because I know in other districts, I don't know. I used to live in Dallas, and I think somewhere in other districts up there, they used to
Maybe
have
that's
school court. Where I mean, the district would handle that, or okay, you get psychologists in there, or counselors, and that kind of deal. Of course, we had
well,
judges and all of that, and
they
I think maybe that's what you're trying to establish, right? To get in a That's what Filomon Vela was doing, try to bridge the gap, sort
what
of.
what Judge Vela was trying to do was prevent people,
I
prevent
see.
young people from entering the criminal justice system. That's what he was. Uh, uh, Now there is a procedure. I mean, I don't know if we could call it school court, but
Right.
there is a process in all the schools where the administration, when, for example, the vape pen case, the the administration at the school determines first whether they're going to refer it to district court or
Mm,
the justice
right,
court,
right, right,
or
right,
are they going to handle it themselves. They do
right,
have a process. I don't know
right,
what they call it, but they
right,
do have a process where evidence, they look at evidence and so forth, and they determine, okay, this case is going to go to justice court, to the district court, to the 484, or this one we're going to handle it in house.
right,
They
right,
do,
right.
yes, they do have something like that.
Wow. Yeah, but I think if they had a court, I mean, como dice Sam aquí, yeah, having a school court might save kids from getting into the system, and so yeah, because it just brings it closer to their level, and of course not have school people run the court, but have people like yourself that that can kind of do that for them and for you, and that kind of deal. Or maybe that's what the juvenile district is going to be doing. The juvenile district court's probably going to be that, maybe.
I would like to, and I have already started some conversations with BISD. I haven't done Los Fresnos or Harlingen, but for
Right.
BISD, yes, where I have told the ISD, where I have approached them, that I want more communication between the school and the judge, because I
Yes.
think that even though it's separate, it should be connected. We should have some meetings once a month as to what are the issues that those students are going through. And I want to have, I'm a very good teacher. I've been teaching since I was 13 years old.
Right,
I
right.
taught English as a second language in Matamoros at my mother's school, and I was
Yeah.
13. And I've never stopped teaching. It's
It's
in
in
my
your blood.
blood. It's in
I
my
mean, yeah,
blood.
some of us are just
I've
normal,
taught CCD.
natural born teachers.
I've became a lawyer, but I've never been able to stop being a teacher. And even right now, I still
Yeah.
teach at the university. In fact, I'm so proud. One of the candidates is my former student,
Wow.
Murillo.
Yeah.
Anyway, maybe I shouldn't mention, but one of the candidates that is running for justice of the peace is my former
Right.
student,
Wow.
and a great lawyer that I think he's great, Noé Alanis. He's a former assistant DA, and he's now a
Right.
lawyer in Rio Hondo. He's my former student, and I
Wow.
have police officers that are my former students. So
Yeah.
I'm very proud of all my
Yeah.
of how many lives I've touched, either as in my legal career or as in my or teaching. And
Right.
I know I'm a good teacher. In fact, Noel Anis mentioned in one of his texts that he learned the Fourth Amendment better from me, that he learned the Fourth Amendment from me better than he did with the law professors that he had in law school. And I thought that was really nice of him to have said that. But I want to use my teaching skills with minors. I want to go to the schools and use my teaching skills
Right.
to see if I can get through them. Not just lecturing, because
Right.
lecturing
No.
is you know,
In
if
and
you
out.
lecture, por favor, te
Yeah.
entra
Yeah.
por uno y te sale por el
Sí,
otro. It
no,
goes
no, no.
out
Sí,
one
sí, sí.
ear and out the other.
Yeah.
And but I have a lot of ideas. I think that poetry writing and music writing is
Yeah.
a fantastic way
Chess.
for, yes,
Yeah.
yes,
I have
yes.
a case. I remember years ago there was this kid that was being influenced by a gang, but he liked chess, and I was brought in to
Ándale.
bring him
Ujú.
into the good side. But the kid learned so much that he became the leader of a gang. And so a couple of years later, we did intervention with it again using
You
chess and
told me
just
about that.
psychology and all that. But I
Sí.
was called in, and then he was back brought to the light, and that kind of deal. Because some of these kids are brilliant. They just go in the wrong
Brilliant,
direction, man.
brilliant. Oh, sí.
Wow.
Y
Este,
inteligentes, they're
yeah,
very intelligent. But look, accountability, first of all, diagnosis. We need to find out why they did what they did.
yeah,
I Some of them, like I said, are emotional and mental issues. But let me tell you something. I have personal experience with mental issues because I grew up with a mentally ill uncle. My mother was the only daughter and the only girl in her family, and we had to take care of my mentally ill uncle. He was a paranoid schizophrenic that
hmm,
became like that after serving in Korea in the Marines,
right,
and he came back very mentally ill. But he knew right from wrong. One time, I grew up with him, and it's a heavy burden. And I don't want to victimize myself or anything like that.
no,
But
no, but it's
pero
normal.
it
Yeah,
it was very hard to deal with. Very difficult to live with a person like that. Very hard on the family. But one time, my uncle threw a chair at me, and I called 911. And let me tell you, they took him to jail and he never threw a chair at me again.
right,
So, accountability and consequences do
yeah,
work, because
definitely.
my uncle was as Looney Tune as you can imagine. He would talk to the wall and smoke
And
all
the one
day.
would answer back.
One time, my little sister,
Uh-huh.
I'll never forget this. My uncle was lying on the sofa talking to the wall, and my little sister stood up and said, "Pared, no le creas nada de lo que dice Pared. Like, wall, don't believe anything he says.
Yeah,
And then my uncle just in a daze looked at her, and then he sort of realized he was talking to the wall. But anyway, um, my there is the bottom line is mental issues are important.
right,
Depression is important, but you still know right from wrong.
right. No,
And
that's true. In other words, there's not an
accountability
excuse,
is
but you
is
want to deal with it. You want to deal with it. Yeah.
claro,
Whatever,
and they need
whatever the
help.
circumstance, you want to deal with the circumstance, not the excuse, but the circumstance.
Correctamente,
And
correctamente. But
and
re-
because
positive reinforcement is
yes,
also crucial. If you
yes.
see an effort, reward them and
Yeah.
praise
I
them.
believe that 100%. I know when
Como
you
no?
know, as I'm
And
teaching tests,
education.
I know as I'm teaching tests, my students sometimes will give me the wrong answer, and I always find something right about the answer. And I always say,
Claro.
you are right. You know that the piece moves this way and it goes to that square and everything. But let's look at another angle. Let's see what else could find. And so I
Sí.
redirect them into looking for something for a better move. You know,
Yes.
but it's so true. You always. I remember a preacher in Dallas used to tell us, you know, if you're going to correct somebody or you're going to give some positive reinforcements or some critique somebody, give them like 80% of positive. Invest in their emotional
Of
bank
course.
account like 80% or even 90%, and then give them the 10% that they need, you know,
Yes.
and they're
Yes.
going to receive the 10% because they already know, hey, you're coming in from a friendly side, you're coming from a position of
Yes.
love and you know, que deseas lo mejor para ellos, that you want the best for them, you know. And so true, yeah. Wow. So let me show a couple more pictures because I think sometimes a picture's worth 1,000 words, you know. Here we go. And just to show you a couple of posters, guys, just in case you don't know who Adela is, or you might recognize the poster, because bottom line, when you go to vote, you got to remember the name. you know,
Adela.
you got to remember the name, you know. We got a couple of more pictures. Here we go. I like this picture. Very cool. This is from a meet and greet that you put somewhere. We kind of cropped it and I added this, telling people that we're going to be here at 8 o'clock today. And tell us about this day. You're at some function here with these people. Who are these beautiful people here?
Well, the lady with the red hair uh, is my kindergarten friend. She was my best friend in kindergarten.
Uh,
Sí, sí, sí. And then the lady next to that is Alejandra Aldrete. Oh my
yeah,
God. And she's amazing.
yeah,
And she's supporting me. And then it's myself. And then Miguel Angel Castro
yeah.
is Nena's, the lady with the red hair. Her
Uh
name
huh.
is Gloria
Uh huh.
Castro.
Uh
And
huh.
I met Gloria, who I call Nena.
Nena. Yeah.
I met her in Matamoros. We were both attending Colegio Don Bosco,
Yeah. Yeah.
and we were neighbors in Matamoros.
Wow.
And let me tell you, I'm gonna tell you a little story of Nena is the youngest of a large family, and she
Wow.
had like 9 brothers. And one time I was 8 years old, and I was going around the block
Uh
in
huh.
Matamoros,
Yeah.
and a man grabbed me and he was taking me inside a tractor trailer to do terrible things to me.
Oh my
And her,
goodness.
see, I'm telling you the truth. And
Wow.
her brother, who I was about 8 years old, and her brother, who was about 15. But to
Wow.
me, at an 8 year old, a 15-year old is a grown man, you know
Yeah.
what?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So her brother ran and rescued me, and I'll never forget the courage that he had. That I'll never realize. I'd never,
Yes.
I never realized how courageous he was, because the man that was getting me inside the tractor trailer was an older man. He was,
Wow.
I, era un señor ya grande. I don't remember
Sí,
how
sí,
old.
claro.
And I've always told Nena, if I could just tell him, oh, he saved my life, saved my
Yes.
life. A 15-year-old that ran, and I remember his words to the guy that wanted to kidnap me. He said, "¿A dónde lleva usted esta niña? Where are you taking this little girl?" And they
Yeah,
had
yeah.
this argument between them, and I was just so terrified. I I could hardly hear anything.
Wow.
And then he told the guy, "You don't know her, and I'm gonna take her to her mother." And then Nena's brother took my hand and said, "I'm not gonna take you home because I'm afraid that he will know where you live. So I'm gonna take you to my house." So
Wow.
he took me to his house, and then they called my mother, and my mother came, and I'm alive and well thanks to
Wow.
him. It's the
Awesome,
truth.
man.
Estoy
Hero,
diciendo
man.
la verdad. Everything that I'm saying
No,
is the
wow.
truth. That's
Wow.
my dad when he was in the army.
I figured that was your dad,
That's
and
my
you
father,
speak
Fred
you have a lot of
Kowalski.
stories about your dad. He was in office as well, right?
He was a what?
He was in office or lawyer. What was he?
No,
No,
no. My
I
father is
think
a court interpreter. The one that's a lawyer is my brother.
ándale, ándale. Okay,
Mhm.
I miss it.
He was a court interpreter for Judge Vela, for Filemon Vela,
Okay.
and his last day of work was he was 82, and he was still court interpreting. And the reason
Wow.
why he quit was because he had ringing in his ears, and he couldn't hear well
Yeah.
enough anymore, so he had to stop. But right now
Wow.
he's 89. I love him
Wow.
dearly.
Good guy, man. Good man. And this is you did a meet and greet with these people, right? Is
The
that what
one,
that was?
yes, yes, that's my son.
Uh-huh.
The older is my son, and the other one
The
is
little guy?
the little guy is the son of a very good friend of mine that's helping me out. Her name is
Uh
uh, Mari
Mari.
Mari Montalvo,
Oh
and
yeah, yeah.
they're helping me, and that's we were giving out popsicles, and it was cold, but the popsicles were fantastic. Let me tell you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, definitely gotta go check out that place, guys. Great popsicle paletas and all this. And then where are you guys here? Oh, this is in front. Is this in front of Burns or no? No, this is not in
No,
front of
no,
Burns.
no.
It's,
This is when we were giving out the popsicles over
okay. And
there
Pablo Quizás.
by Morrison. Is it Morrison? No, it's
Yeah,
not Morrison.
Morrison. Yeah, it makes
No,
sense.
Pablo
Morrison.
Quisel.
Pablo
Pablo
Quizás.
Quisel and Morrisol
Yeah.
near La Pale, and
See, see.
that's when we were giving out the popsicles.
Yeah. Wow. And you got your crew going. You got your team going. All that. And there we go. Here we go. We got somebody from BASD here.
Yes, this
Mikala.
is Veronica Borrego is
Yeah. Yeah.
the president, and she's with her vice president,
Yeah.
um, like I said, I want to keep a connection with
Yes.
the ISD. It's
Yes. Yeah.
very important to go to the schools, to talk to the teachers, to talk to the students, to not just try to guess what the issues are, but to actually speak to them.
Right. And we got some an elderly couple here.
This is at Cobbleheads. That's at the same place. This is PUB.
Eso.
PUB endorsed myself and endorsed also Erin Gomez. That's why
Yeah, you heard
her
her.
sign
Yeah,
is
her
in the
sign's
back,
way back there.
and they endorsed me as the candidate for the 484.
Oh
Yeah.
man, that's so
Mhm.
cool. Well, you got some good people behind you there. Here's Tim and Micaela with
Yes,
you.
yes,
And
yes.
oh man, this is so cool. ¿Qué más? ¿Qué más? Who else is coming up? I don't know this lady. I don't think I know her.
She's also from the Public Utilities Board,
Ah, okay.
and and like I said, those are one of the ones that endorsed me
Who is
and
she? Who is she?
I frankly do not remember her name. I but
She looks familiar though. She looks familiar. I think I've seen her at the
the one
library.
that yes the anyway it's
Yeah.
I'm very proud of that. The one that recommended me. Okay, that's Alicia. Uh,
Alicia.
yes. Alicia is from PUB, and she's the one that endorsed me,
Uh-huh.
and from PUB, and she's the one that recommended me, and she spoke very highly of me. One of the things that she said about me is that I was a very decent person. That's what she said. And I'm like that. Her words were that I was, and I'm sorry, I'm not being modest enough, but she
Yeah.
said that I was one of the most decent people she had ever met.
Uh, that's that,
Anyway,
and that
her
is
daughter and my son are very good friends.
they're good friends. Wow,
See,
cool. I don't know these people. Who are these two?
this is
Like,
also from the Cobbleheads,
okay.
yeah, PUB
Uh,
people.
cool, 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 cool. Well, great. Well, you got a whole bunch of there. We'll show some more a little bit later. But keep it easy. One of the things here is that let me ask you a question here. Let me ask you a question. Of course, you're seeking the position you're seeking to be the judge on the 484th, right? So tell me, if what makes you the best candidate? Because there's other candidates running. What makes you the best?
The reason why I am the best candidate is because it's a district court with a preference for juvenile justice. That doesn't mean that it's exclusively a juvenile court. It's a district court. That means
Yeah,
it'll handle everything. It has to, because um, the caseload of the other district courts is tremendous. And we need a judge that has the experience to tackle anything that is thrown at the judge. So if it's a capital murder case involving an adult, or if it's a juvenile delinquent conduct case, whatever the case may be, that judge has to have the experience. I have 33 years experience of doing everything.
right.
I've been a federal prosecutor, a state prosecutor, a criminal defense lawyer. I've been a family law lawyer. I'm a
Wow,
mediator. I'm a parent facilitator. I'm a mediator in family law. I'm a mediator in. I've been a custody. I've done custody trials, jury
wow.
trials. I lost one, but I was very successful in two of them. Those
Right.
they're very difficult to do. The
So
custody
you've been on
cases.
both sides of the
Yes,
case. You've been for the pro and
I've
you've
been
been for
on
the con.
both sides,
You've
and
been
I've
let's
been
get this guy in jail and let's defend
see,
this guy from going to jail.
yes, and I'm
Wow,
also a professor at UTRGV.
yeah,
And let me tell you something. It's something that I've been doing for 16 years, not for the money and not for a political advantage, because I never thought I would run for office. I've always been a teacher because I like it, because it comes from my heart and I want to help people. And it's real, it's a sacrifice doing that.
yeah,
I would love to come home and relax in the evenings,
right,
and instead, I was at the university in the cold, in the
yeah,
parking lot
yeah,
at 10 o'clock at night,
yeah,
grading papers,
yeah.
grading research papers. Sometimes I have 49 students, and I have to grade 49 research papers,
Oh my God,
and it's a sacrifice
yes,
that I cannot. I'm addicted to it. I can't stop doing it because I know that I'm good at it. And I
yes,
have 33 years that I want to offer Cameron County with all my heart, because I know that I have accumulated throughout these years and through all the jury trials, the contested hearings, the motions to suppress, the classes that I've taught. I have so much experience and so much knowledge, and I want to just offer it because I
yeah.
don't know
I
what
hear
to
you.
do with it. I'm still very strong.
Yeah,
My mind, I'm 60 years old, but I'm very strong, healthy, and I want to do something with all the
Yeah.
knowledge that I've
Yeah,
accumulated throughout the years.
and it's not like you only have theory. You have experience. So you have
No, no,
experience
exact.
and you have theory.
Yes,
So you got
yes,
book knowledge and you got actual
yes,
reality. It happens. It goes this way. This
yes,
is the different variations.
yes.
This is what can go wrong with the theory and how we fix
Hmm.
it. And you have that
Hmm.
because yeah, you got people that come in with a lot of book knowledge and they got their degrees and all of that, which you have as well. But they don't have the experience, and that's the difference when you combine both.
And I have the experience in doing tough decisions. It's
Wow.
very easy. It's very easy to dismiss a case. It's beautiful to do that. It's a wonderful feeling. And it's very easy to give probation, but it's very difficult to do the tough decisions. The ones where uh, they're not, you cannot just pass it and say, oh, well, that's Migdalia Lopez's job to do. The tough ones, like whether to certify a minor and treat him like an adult,
Wow.
that's a very difficult decision to take.
Right.
Or whether to give a determinate sentence to a minor.
Mm,
Those are decisions that I have tackled as a prosecutor, because being a prosecutor, to be honest with you, is very much like being a judge, because a prosecutor's job is to seek justice. It's not to
right.
seek convictions.
Right.
And we are the ones that have to evaluate cases to see if there's enough evidence for it and to see if it's fair and just that this
Mm,
person be prosecuted.
right. Right.
So by the time we give it to the judge, it's already basically in a silver platter where
Mm,
it's been um, prepared, it's been analyzed, and it's been at analyzed not only legally, whether the evidence was obtained legally,
right.
whether the evidence is sufficient to meet the standards of proof beyond a
Right.
reasonable doubt, whether the search warrants or the arrest warrants or whether the evidence was obtained in accordance with constitutional
Right.
rights,
Dotting
and whether
all the I's and crossing all
todo,
the T's.
yes. So I have done all of that
Wow.
for 33 years.
Wow.
And
You can do it
it's
in your sleep.
I can do it in my sleep. I can look at a set of facts and I can immediately spot, okay, there's a problem here, there's a problem here, and there's a problem here. And I, I, I want to use all that information for
Right.
the
Right.
benefit of my community.
Yes. Oh man, that is so awesome. And so I guess that tells you what you will accomplish. That's I mean that's just throwing a question out there, but you want to accomplish all of that, and
And
so
let
wow,
me just say one more thing is
tell it
my boss is Luis V. Science, the district attorney who
right,
supports me,
yeah,
not my opponent. He supports Adela Kowalski-Garza.
right,
Uh, yes, I guarantee you, I've been working for him for 16 years.
right,
For 15 to 16 years, he's known me since the 1990s, and I have recorded him saying Adela is the best candidate because she has real experience. Those are
right,
his words,
right,
not
right.
mine.
Not just
And
rhetoric.
he supports Adela Kowalski-Garza,
Yeah,
not
yeah, yeah.
nobody else.
See, no, no, no. Wow.
It's the
Este,
truth. It's
no,
the
no.
truth.
Well,
Mr. Luis
let me
Sainz
ask
supports
you.
Adela.
Let me ask you, Adela. Can you give us some words in Spanish? Because sometimes people.
Claro,
No,
como
esta no habla español con ese nombre que se carga como que.
hablo el español perfecto.
And
Lo
I
hablo
know. I
perfecto
think I
porque
knew you.
crecí en
I think.
Matamoros. Yo nací aquí en Estados Unidos, pero crecí en
Eh,
Matamoros y fui a la escuela hasta sexto año en México
so
y
there, you know
aprendí el
Spanish.
español. Sí, yo hablo el
No,
español
es más, yo parece
correctamente.
que te conocía cuando ibas a la Vía María.
Sí,
Porque tú te
después de
graduaste
que,
en el
sí,
80 y yo me gradué en el 79. Y
oh,
yo, pues, más o menos en esos años tenía amigas en la Vía María.
después de que salí de sexto año del Colegio Don Bosco en Matamoros,
Uh-huh.
después de allí fui a
Incarnate
este
Word?
fue al Villa María of the Incarnate Word Academy y luego
Uh-huh.
de ahí me gradué, terminé el high school allí, me gradué con honores.
Uh-huh.
um, Me gradué con honores en inglés, porque como te digo, yo daba clases de inglés en
Sí,
Matamoros, así
claro,
que
claro, sí.
aprendí la gramática muy bien.
Uh-huh.
Y también en historia me gustaba y me gusta todavía
Sí,
mucho historia.
sí.
Y en drama y poesía. Y
Poesía.
escribí varios poemas. Te puedo leer un poema que yo
Léame un
escribí
poema,
en
por favor.
español.
En español.
En español este poema lo escribí, se llama Agradecimiento. Y
A
va
ver.
de este modo. Qué feo se siente dar y ni las gracias recibir. Por eso cuando doy, no espero nada. Así me duele menos la cachetada. Did you get it?
Wow.
And then I wrote another poem in English, and the
Uh-huh.
first lines I wrote when I was like 8 years old, but then the rest I added later.
You
And
finished it
it's
later.
called Sweet Air.
Sweeter.
Sweet air, my heart is there. That part I wrote when I was 8 years old. But
Right.
it goes like this. Sweet air, my heart is there. Although I cannot see you, I know you're there. My saving Lord, you're just like the wind. You're out of sight, but nonetheless, I feel your might.
Wow.
Anyway, that's
Deep,
just
but it's there. Very precious. Oh, well, wow.
those are
Yeah,
two little poems that I wrote. I've written many. I've
yeah,
written
yeah,
many,
yeah.
but they're boring. So these were.
Well, cool, man. Well,
And I strongly believe in writing poetry and creative writing and
yes.
things of that nature. And Adelita's way. It's Adelita's way. Change a
Hmm.
negative into a positive.
Right. And the thing about when you're writing, and I know a lot of writers, and it just gives you the power to release what's in deep inside,
Exactly.
and you bring it out.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yes. Yes.
and it's like
Yes.
writing is power. Writing is release. Writing
Writing is power. Por
is
supuesto.
just sometimes it's life,
Yes. Yes.
and
I
it's
have many dreams and many ideas, and I hope that I will be able to do what I want to do. And I know that if just give me a chance, I I can change a negative into a positive, and I've done it for many people, for many human beings. I've changed their lives, and I will continue doing that.
wow. No, awesome. Well, great. Well, any last words that they left to our people, either in English or in Spanish? I know that voting starts tomorrow, guys. Voting starts tomorrow all over the county. Uh, then on March 1st is election day. Adela, take it away.
Por favor, voten por Adela Kowalski-Garza. Por favor, voten en las votaciones anticipadas que empiezan el 14 de febrero, el día de San Valentín, que es el día de mañana, y terminan el 25 de febrero, pero el 21 de febrero no va a haber votación. Please vote for Adela Kowalski-Garza. Early voting begins February 14 and it ends on February 25th. Vote during the early vote, and there is no voting on February 21st because it's President's Day. It's a Monday. Uh, Also, the general election, la elección general, es el 1 de marzo. General election is March the 1st. So
Wow.
if you don't vote during the early vote, by all means, please, please, please vote on March the 1st and vote for Adela Kowalski-Garza. Muchas gracias.
Yes. Awesome. Well, Adela, man, we're going to let you go. Thank you for coming by to visit Talk Show Central RTV style. We hope this will help you. We know that some people are watching right now, and by the end of the week, there's going to be probably 4 or 5 times as many people that are going to watch this video. And we wish you all the best. We definitely need you in the position to guide our some of these children, some of these young teenagers into a better path. And I think
Yes.
with you on board, with you on the seat, that can be accomplished. And you will be avoiding many tragedies in the future.
I agree, and thank you so much for this opportunity. I really do appreciate it. Muchas gracias. God bless you. God bless
I'm
you.
gonna put you
Thank you.
backstage, and we'll see you in a bit.
Okay.
Bye, Adela. And wow, what a woman! What a woman, guys! You guys need to go out there and vote for her starting tomorrow. Those of you that only vote on election day, of course, that's March the 1st. But Adela, vote for Adela for 484th District Judge, man. Don't, man, you got to. Some of you guys just need to get out there and vote. So, without further ado, guys, this is Royal, and we leave you tonight with some music. Happy Valentine's. Besitos, abrazos to all of you tomorrow. Nos vemos y adiós.